English Flow Podcast.
From Speak English Flow Daily.
Hello, English learners, and welcome back to the English Flow Podcast, your go-to podcast for everyday English, natural conversations, and simple listening practice for daily life.
So glad you are here with us today. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo. I am feeling really good today, ready and excited for this topic. How about you, Mia?
I'm doing well. Actually, I had a moment yesterday where I just sat quietly and thought, why do some people completely turn their lives around while others stay in the same place for years?
Oh, I know that thought. You see someone go from really struggling to doing well, and you wonder, what is their secret? Is it luck? Or are they just doing something different?
Exactly. And it made me think about when I was learning English. At first, it felt impossible. So many words, so many rules. But then, little by little, things started to make sense.
That is so true. When I first started, I thought, if I just learn more vocabulary, I will be fluent. But it was never only about words. It was about building habits, changing how I think, and actually using what I was learning.
And that is when it hit me. Life works the same way. Big changes do not happen in one night. It is not one huge decision. It is the small things we do every single day.
And that is exactly what we are talking about today. How to change your life. Real steps, real ideas, no magic.
And before we dive in, if you enjoy learning with us, please like this episode, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little push today.
We also love reading your comments. Tell us, what is one small change you are making in your life right now? Write it below. We read everything.
Oh, and a quick note. Today we are working at a B1 level, clear and conversational. But we will also bring in some B2 words along the way, a little more advanced, and explain them simply so you grow without feeling lost.
Okay, let's get into it.
Leo, I want to start with something honest. Change sounds exciting. A fresh start, a new beginning. But most people never actually make those changes. Why?
Because change is hard. And there are some very common reasons people feel stuck. Let's talk about them.
The first one, fear of failure. So many people ask, what if I try and it doesn't work? But here is a better question. What if you try and it does? Every person who has built something great has also failed along the way. The difference is they kept going.
The second reason? No clear direction. Some people know they want something better, but have no idea where to start. So they wait. They think they need a perfect plan before taking even one small action. And the plan never feels perfect enough.
Then there is negative self-talk. Negative self-talk means the critical voice inside your head. The one that says things like, I will never be good at this, or I'm just not that kind of person. Those thoughts stop progress before it even begins.
And finally, waiting for motivation. People say, I will start when I feel ready. But here is something important. Motivation usually comes after action, not before. You do not wait to feel motivated. You start, and then the motivation follows.
I remember this so clearly from my own life. I kept waiting for the perfect moment to start something I had been putting off. And that moment never came. Until I just took the first step. And once I did, everything started moving.
Same with English. I used to think, I am not good at this. But then I realized the only way to get better was to actually start. Not to wait until I felt ready, just to begin.
And that is the key takeaway from this section. Understanding what is holding you back, that is the first step. Once you can name the barrier, you can start working on breaking it.
So, now that we know what holds people back, how do we actually start making changes?
Small daily improvements. People think they need a dramatic transformation overnight, but real change happens gradually, little by little, day by day.
Have you heard of the 1% rule?
Yes, if you improve just 1% every single day, you will be 37 times better by the end of a year. It sounds almost impossible, but it is just maths. Small efforts compound over time, like interest growing in a bank account.
And that connects to the power of habits. There is a brilliant idea from the book Atomic Habits that habits do not just change what you do, they change who you are. To compound means to grow on top of itself. Each small improvement builds on the last one, so the effect gets bigger and bigger over time.
Think about it in small, real terms. Reading for 10 minutes a day, practicing English for 5 minutes every morning, replacing one negative thought with something more helpful. None of these feel big, but they add up.
I know someone who became genuinely fluent in English just by listening to podcasts every single day during their commute. No intense study plan, no expensive courses, just one consistent small step, repeated every day.
So if you are listening right now and wondering where to start, do not look for the big thing. Just pick one small habit. One. And start today.
Taking action is important, but there is something even more fundamental: the way we think about change. Because our mindset makes all the difference.
There are two types of mindset: a growth mindset, the belief that you can improve, and a fixed mindset, the belief that your abilities are set and cannot change. Mindset here means your general way of thinking, the beliefs and attitudes you carry every day.
And here is something fascinating about the brain. There is a system called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. The RAS is like a filter in your brain. It decides what information to pay attention to based on what you focus on and believe.
That is why when you learn a new word, you suddenly hear it everywhere. Or when you buy a new car, you suddenly see the same model all over the road. Your brain was always receiving that information. It just wasn't filtering it in before.
So if you keep telling yourself, "I cannot do this," your brain will find evidence to prove it. But if you say, "I am getting better every day," your brain starts to look for proof of that instead.
That is why reprogramming your mind is so powerful. 3 simple ways to do it: affirmations, visualization, and gratitude. Affirmations are short, positive statements you repeat to yourself, like, "I am improving every day." Visualization means picturing yourself succeeding. Your brain responds to imagined success similarly to real success. And gratitude, focusing on what is already going well, trains your brain to notice opportunities instead of obstacles.
It is not magic. It is about training your brain to work for you, not against you.
Now, let's talk about one of the biggest things that holds people back: waiting for the right moment.
So many people believe they need to feel completely ready before they take action. But here is the truth: you will never feel fully ready. Readiness comes from doing, not from waiting.
When I was learning English, I kept hesitating to speak. I thought, what if I make a mistake? What if I sound wrong? But the more I waited, the harder it became. The fear was growing, not shrinking.
And when you finally started?
Once I started speaking, even badly, even with mistakes, I realized that the mistakes were the learning. Every conversation built a little more confidence. I wasn't perfect, but I was moving.
And that is the idea behind a phrase I love: done is better than perfect. This means an imperfect action you actually take is always more valuable than a perfect plan you never start. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time.
So here is a small challenge for you. Think of one thing you have been putting off: practicing English, starting a new habit, reaching out to someone. And then take one small step today. Not tomorrow, today.
Because action creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. You do not wait for confidence and then act. You act, and the confidence builds from there.
Don't wait for the perfect moment. Make today the start.
Here is something people often overlook: how much our surroundings shape our habits and decisions. It is not only about what we do, it is also about who we spend time with and what we surround ourselves with.
There is a well-known saying: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This means the people around you, their habits, energy, attitudes, rub off on you over time. If the people around you are negative and unmotivated, that becomes your normal. But if they are focused and growing, that energy is contagious.
So how do you build an environment that supports growth? First, follow people who inspire you. Authors, speakers, online creators, whoever makes you feel like growth is possible. Exposing yourself to positive thinking shifts your own mindset over time.
Second, join a community. There are so many groups for English learners, for readers, for people working on personal growth. When you are around people who value improvement, you naturally start improving too. It becomes the normal thing to do.
And third, reduce the negativity. This might mean spending less time with people who constantly complain, or cutting back on news and social media that drains your energy rather than filling it. To drain means to slowly take away your energy, like water draining from a bath. You want an environment that fills you, not one that empties you.
I remember feeling stuck with English for a long time. Then I joined an online community of English learners. Suddenly, I had people to practice with, share difficulties with, celebrate small wins with. That community changed everything.
So here is something worth thinking about. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they helping you grow, or are they keeping you where you are? You do not have to cut people out dramatically, but you can choose where you put your attention.
Surround yourself with people and ideas that pull you forward. Your environment is not just background noise. It is quietly shaping who you become.
Mia, we used some great words today. Let's slow down and walk through the important ones. A calm vocabulary tour.
First, compound. To compound means to grow on top of itself. Each improvement builds on the last. For example, small daily English practice compounds over time into real fluency. Or, the interest on my savings account compounds every month.
Next, mindset. Your mindset is your general way of thinking, the beliefs and attitudes you carry. For example, she has a growth mindset, so she sees every mistake as a learning opportunity. Or, changing your mindset is the first step to changing your life.
Affirmation. A short, positive statement you say to yourself to build confidence and shift your thinking. For example, every morning I repeat one affirmation before I start my day. Or, affirmations like, I am getting better, helped me stop negative self-talk.
Visualization. Picturing a future situation clearly in your mind as a way to prepare and motivate yourself. For example, before a difficult conversation, I use visualization to imagine it going well. Or, athletes use visualization to mentally practice before a competition.
Momentum. The energy or force that builds up when you keep moving forward. For example, once I started practicing English every day, I built up momentum and it became easier to keep going. Or, small wins give you momentum to keep trying.
Contagious. Normally we use this for illness, but here it means something positive can spread from person to person too. For example, her enthusiasm was contagious. Everyone in the room started feeling motivated. Or, a positive attitude is just as contagious as a negative one.
Drain versus fill. To drain means to slowly take your energy away. To fill means to give you energy and motivation. For example, spending too much time on negative social media drains me, but a good conversation with a friend fills me up. Ask yourself, does this person or habit drain me or fill me?
These are powerful words, not just for English, but for talking about your life and your growth. Try using one of them in a sentence today. Say it out loud, or drop it in the comments.
That is your English brain going to the gym.
So, if we had to leave you with one key idea from today, what would it be, Mia?
That you have more control over your life than you think. Small changes, the right mindset, and a better environment, these things genuinely transform a life. Not overnight, but steadily, surely, step by step.
And progress does not have to look dramatic. Every small step you take is getting you closer to where you want to be. Every podcast you listen to, every word you learn, every time you choose action over waiting.
So, what is one small change you are making today? Write it in the comments. Let us know. Your answer might be exactly what someone else needs to read.
And if this episode helped you, please like it, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little encouragement today.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. This was the English Flow podcast from Speak English Flow Daily.
Keep growing. Keep going. We will see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care of yourself.
Your English learning journey doesn't stop here. Continue building your confidence and fluency with the next episode of the English Flow podcast. Click the next video and keep progressing, one conversation at a time.